Involution Meditation, and I'm your spiritual involutionist. Yes, I am involuting and revoluting, revelationally pulling that which is in you to manifest something outside of you. Yes, on this satisfying Saturday, this is the present moment for you to acknowledge and get in sync with and align yourself with the universe, as the universe is the God-given moment to utilize the energy that God has provided and destined for your journey and for your life. And so when you get in sync and when you begin to meditate, meditation is medication. It gives you preventive medicine for everything that you are about to experience in this present moment. Now, if you're still in the past, you're going to be depressed. If you're in the future already, you're going to have anxiety. But if you stay in the present moment, this moment right this second, you are going to experience your fullest of your reality, your right now, your presence, your now here, however you want to call it, your consciousness, your awakening, your enlightenment, not E-N, but I-N. And we're going to focus today on N. And when we focus on N, we know that we're inclusive. It means we are surrounded by. That means we are uh, in a permanent mode to allow the energy that's in us to expand out of us in our aura to cause a power of attraction back to us. Because as we sow, and let's look at everything as energy, because everything is energy, including you. As you sow a certain frequency of energy, you must, because there's a law, there's a principle of God that says, when you sow, you reap. That is the power of attraction. It's not magical. It's a miracle. It's not witchcraft. It is the power of knowing yourself in this present moment. So that's an appetizer. And that's good in the neighborhood. So it will get you in a mindset that as you're sowing frequencies in a universe of energy, you are attracting that same type of energy in your present state of being. God, that's good. I could just stay right there all day, but I'm going to move on. We're going to meditate just for a few moments. I want you to clear your mind. There is so much going on in your mind. And remember, your mind and your thoughts are not the same thing. Oh, that's a whole nother video. Your mind and your thoughts are not the same thing. If everything is energy, thoughts are another form of energy. They can be high frequency or low frequency. Your mind is the incubator that houses whatever energy that you're sowing into it. Let me meditate. Child, we up in here this morning. I am pumped. My energy is all the way to massive, over 100. So let's begin to sell ourselves. Straighten your spine, because you want the air to be able to have a journey of upwardness without being distracted or not being stopped. So a lot of times I've decided I'm not a medical doctor. This is for entertainment purposes only. That pain is stored up energy that is not moving. We are a moving being. The Spirit of the Lord moves. We're not a monument, we're a movement. And when you're not moving energetically, then that energy still moves, but it begins to clash into each other and not have an airway of coming up and down outwards. Just like the cross, up and outward. And so then we allow ourselves to be in the greatest version of ourselves. So I'm excited about the meditation today. I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm telling you, that is going to allow you to be the greatest version of yourself. So straighten your spine, close your eyes if you can. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but close your eyes. And I want you to focus on the bottom of your spine, which is your root chakra. I want you to just focus on that point Take your inner eye to that point because you shut your illusional eyes. So this is not about eyesight, this is about insight. Allow yourself to take yourself to the bottom of your spine and imagine how the air would look insightfully, intuitionally, as it goes up to your crown chakra, which is the top. Come on, let's breathe. Hold it. Now see that air going down. See it going down in a spiral motion. That is your kundalini. That is that power that goes up your spine. Every time you breathe deeply. Come on, let's breathe deeply again. Hold it. Release it. See that air? Relaxing your muscles in your back and your shoulder. Come on, let's try it again. Now imagine the air going down in a spiral motion. Just as you imagine it going up in a spiral motion. As that happens, the air is giving you life. Your soul is having life breathed into it. The life that's being breathed into is the energy of the Most High God. The Most High God. There are multiple gods, but we're talking about the Most High God, the Creator of life. And so as you're meditating and you're breathing, you're creating an abundance, or you're renewing, you're returning back and renewing your place of life right now. Now that's good. You can do that as many times during the day as you need to be re-energized. Just like you charge your phone, you've got to charge your body. Just like you charge your computer, you have to charge your body. Your car cannot run without a charge. And so we have been running without charges, and that's why we're on a low frequency. That's why we experience the lowest portion of life, and we're not at the top portion of life. So as you begin to do that, the more you do that, the more you breathe breath back into you. Breath is the life force, the life energy that gives you the energy to go through your day, to go through your moment, to go through a situation, whether good, bad, or ugly, however you perceive it. Now I've decided to perceive every situation as a frequency of energy. It can be a low energy or it can be a high energy. But I'm not going to label it as a problem or issue or as a pain. I'm going to label it as a energy, and I'm going to determine what the frequency is. Now, you must be reminded that energy cannot be destroyed. So it has to be transformed. And that's kind of what we're going to get in today. So when you detect the energy, this is where we're getting into if you're living in the body or outside of the body. Because outside of the body begins to label situations and label those things, and then it brings in a preconditioned perception. Whew, that 3P right there. Preconditioned perception of the thing that you have labeled. So it's been preconditioned in your mind, this perception that you're going to perceive. So as you say, oh, I've got a problem. Preconditioned. It's been preconditioned that it's supposed to be labeled as a problem. Then you begin to breathe life into it. It's only a seed when it comes. Oh my God, I didn't even know I was going to say that. It was only a seed when it came to you. But as you begin to plant it and water and breathe life back in it and put the light on it, the sun on it, then it began to grow. And so a lot of our issues are not as big as they came to us as a seed. But once we begin to cry over it and get in our flesh with it, that's planting it. And then we begin to blow breath on it. That's the air. And then we shine light on it. We begin to outside the outside of it. We begin to blow it up. Man, that's good in the neighborhood. So now see your issues, your situations as energy. Knowing that you can't destroy the energy, but you can trance the energy. Now, stop getting all spooky on me, thinking a trance is all spooky and all that kind of stuff. A trance just means to go across, through, and beyond. So when you're taking that situation and you are diagnosing it as a low frequency energy, and you know you operate in the highest frequency of energy, which is love, which you were created by, for God so loved the world that he gave you the light and the energy to be able to go across, through, and beyond this situation that you are now focusing on. Ooh, oh my God. When you begin to live in the body, and I'm talking about the spiritual body now, and stop living out of the body, which is the fleshly body, you begin to ignite the energy of your highest frequency, and you begin to change. Remember we talked about the other day, change comes from the inside, because that's the permanency, that's the positivity. It comes on the inside. Then we begin to send out the energy to the outside. That energy begins to attract this same situation back to you at a greater investment. You invested energy. You're going to receive interest on the energy that you sent out. So it's important that we sow. As we begin to speak words, we need to think within our mind. Remember, your mind and your thoughts are not the same thing. The mind is the incubator of your thoughts and the energy that it brings. So your mind is the carrier. It's the carrier of the energy of the thoughts that you're thinking, that have all the thoughts that you think are already in the universe, because they're energy. And somebody somewhere has already thought that. And so it's a collection, because we are connected. We are connected. All energy is energy. It's just at different frequencies. So we're trying to separate each other with blacks over here, whites over here, Chinese over there, the Indians over there. There is no separation when God is in it. When God is in it, because we're not looking at the outside, we're looking at the heart. God doesn't look at the outside, so why we look at the heart. He's the creator. He's a manifester. We are co-creating with him. So we must stop creating that outer body experience, that outside body. So when we talk about to be absent from the outside body is to be present with the Lord, we always associate that with a physical transition from this dimension to another dimension which we call death. But God said he's taking the sting out of death. So death has no sting. It has no power. Come on now. It's how we look at it. So, man, I'm excited about this word because I'm talking to myself. So, as we are absent from the physical body, as far as the flesh is concerned, we are present with the spiritual body inside of us, which is God that lives in us. The kingdom of heaven is within. We can stop looking up because there's nothing up. We need to start looking in. As we look in, we restore the connection. We charge that power that's in us. And we begin to manifest the very thing that we see. God says, I'll give you the land that you see. I say that all the time. We're not talking about physical, geographical land, although it could be that. But we're talking about that inner being of manifesting the things that you will to be. Now, the will is an energy. Because you can have a will to be or a will not to be. But it's based on the energy or the frequency or the vibrations that you're sending off into this area. Here first, and then outside of here. As above, so below as above. That means above means within you. Because God created heaven and earth. He didn't say I create the heaven first and then the earth. But he created the heaven and the earth. So as above, so below as above. So there's a frequency like the cross that goes as above, so below. See, you ain't never looked at the cross like this. The cross going this way and then going out that way, which means the connection, the kundalini, the chakras, the energy point, the anointing, the Holy Ghost, the power, whatever you call it, goes up as above and so below, and is grounded, which is the root chakra, and then it goes outwardly. It reaches outwardly. So the connection of the cross is connecting the energy, woo-hoo, that it be a join with everybody, because it has a reach, and the reach is infinitely reaching out into the universe to connect and attract back to that as above, so below. What? Yes, sir. This is good in the neighborhood. And so we have got to not learn, but remember, we're not sitting here to learn. They're learning us what they want us to learn. They are learning us and conditioning us, as we talked about before, to think like they want us to think. But our thing is to return back to our original state of being. So we're internal beings. We're connecting with the inner being. So as we begin to do that, we roll into some great things within our lives. This teaching is to help you remember that your inner being, that which you can't see, is greater than your outer being, that which you can see, and it allows you to be the greatest version of yourself. So now you have to know yourself. You have to examine yourself and say, well, am I living in the body or out of the body? Am I living within so I'm never without? So we have to stay in. Okay. And so the pandemic was a positive way of us looking at, we were forced to go in. Oh, this is good. We were forced to go back in. We were forced to go home. Home is ourselves. We were forced to go back in and begin to practice in, because most of the times we were outside of the home, at work, at church, at the movies. We were always at somewhere. We were more at and out than we were in and being. And so if you're going to look at the pandemic as something positive, it forced us to go in. Once you're in, you'll never be without. Now, a lot of us live better in than we did out. I know I did. When I was out, I had to work. I had to do this. I had to do this. When I wasn't working, I was in tune. I was in touch. I was in meditation. I was in reading. I was in studying. I was in conversation. All of these things with God. I was not tired. I had time. I made time to spend with the Creator. And that caused my energy to explode into destiny. For 1 year this month, I have not worked, but God has supplied all of my need. He has not allowed me to worry, because I give energy to that. He has allowed me to focus on Him being the supply of every need, as the supply is greater than the demand. The energy of supply is greater than the energy of the man. And so when you know that the supply is greater, there's a different feeling that comes on you, inside of you, because it's a knowing feeling that if the supply is greater than the demand, I will always have more than enough to satisfy whatever the outside demand is. And that's good, real good in your neighborhood. It has not been about the amount of what we call money, the energy of currency. It has more been about the energy of me knowing that there's an extreme income. There's an extreme multiplicity of income. Why? Because rivers of living waters are flowing from my inside to my outside. So I have multiple streams of income. They're not just in currency, they're in time, they're in favor, they're in blessings, they're in miracles. And when we look at the whole picture, the income of a paycheck it's just one stream of income. But when you look at the energy, you have multiple streams, and we don't pay attention to that. And what you don't pay attention to and don't focus on and not mindful of, you do not give energy to. And when you don't give energy to it, there's a deficit. There's a surplus of need instead of a surplus of have. And so I'm teaching you, or I'm providing a tool for you, because I can't teach you anything. You have to decide to take this in. But I'm supplying you with information. It's in, and it's forming you as a nation. Whew. This is the year. This is the year of royalty and riches. Look at yourself in the mirror and see if you see. Now don't look at this, but look in the mirror, which is the soul, looking into your soul. Look into your soul and see if you see from the inside out royalty and riches. 400 years of slavery is over in 2020. We came out with great substance. Substance are not just things, but it is that energy of spirituality that we've invested in. Investing. And we got interest. When you begin to invest, you get interest, and you get interest. Interest means multiple streams of income. You just have to breathe right there and allow that to just come in and cause you to feel a whole different way, to cause you to see with a whole different inner sight, that causes you to hear with a whole new organ. We have 5 senses outside of us, but there are almost 360 senses inside of us. And I'm not talking about in number. I'm talking about in direction. When you do a 360-degree turn, that means you turn everything around. So we need to focus on our 360-degree internal sense more so than our 5 senses. The reason they say 5, because the eyes is to see out, the nose is to smell out, the hands is to touch out. You know what I'm saying? The ears is to hear out. It's all outside information. But when you go in to your 360-degree turnaround senses, you're going to continuously see how the thing is going in and out. You're constantly going into heaven and coming out. And the reason I say that is because you're living to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So you're continuously going into heaven, and you're obtaining the energy for information, and then you're bringing it back to the body, because you're multidimensional. You're flesh, soul, spirit, multidimensional. So you're going from the 3rd dimension to the 4th dimension to the 5th dimension to the outer dimension. There is no degree of dimensions you can stop at, because when you're in God, He is greater, He is infinite, He is unlimited. Stop limiting yourself. Now, do like my mom used to say, stop limiting yourself. Point that finger. That means there's something going on that you need to add some strength to, some power to, some authority to. Now, we're going to get ready to close this out, because I honestly know that this information is some of the best information that I've ever received. And as you begin to practice this, you will ignite your memory, because we're not here to learn. We're here to remember what God told us before we got in the womb, because He equipped us. It was intimacy. He got intimacy and gave me the seed that I would be able to plant on this journey. So this is just a journey. This is not something that you are maintaining for life. This is just a journey to your next position comes up, or your next assignment, or your next purpose. So do not get comfortable here, and stop worrying about death, because it has no sting. And it's transformational. Across, through, and beyond. As you begin to grow and know, you begin to move that 360-degree sense comes on and begins to constantly move you on a day-to-day basis. Your energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be tranced from the inside out. Well, people, you got to share this. Thank you, Haps TV, for allowing me this platform to sit before the people. I don't know how many people listening, but I know somebody has their ear tuned. If I just reach one person, then that person's gonna reach someone, and then we're gonna join ourselves together, and we're gonna begin to walk as one. Because as we are divided, that's why we continue to fall. You trying to get better, something better than your neighbor got just for a showpiece of something that's gonna pass away anyway. That's a waste of your energy and your time. Come on, we need to go in to that treasure in this earthen vessel. There's something on the inside. If ever you find a treasure box, you're not going to be concerned about how pretty the outside look. Your concern is going to be what's on the inside. Same thing here. You can look cute. You can look pretty. You can have the greatest eyebrows and eyelashes, the longest eyelashes. You can do all of that. But the greatest concern is what's on the inside. Yes, sir. That's where the treasure is. It's not your lips, your hips, or your fingertips. But it's that treasure of that heart that's inside of you, that power that's inside of you, that soul that resonates inside of you. I wish above all things that you will prosper, but even as your soul prospers, your prosperity is your health and your wealth. Your health is not outside of your body, it's inside of your body. You ever think about that? Your health is based on what's going on the inside, not on the outside. There's always something on the inside that's going to ignite some type of sickness. And the greatest foundation of sickness is stress, worry. So we do everything for the outside. We're moving today. We're changing our address today. We're coming from the outside. We're going to come in and we're going to ignite the energy that we're made out of. You ever heard anybody say, show me what you're made of? Yeah. As you begin to know your worth, you'll never have to prove yourself. And once you know a thing, you cannot know it. So as you begin to know these things, I'm telling you, as you begin to know these things, you can't unknow them. And you will have that 360 degree of your senses on the inside to turn you around. That's all repent means, is to return back to your original state of being before you were in the womb or the matrix. Whichever one you want to call it. It was flesh. It was the illusion. You don't have to be in the illusion anymore. You have to be you, which is your inner being. Yes. Now, commercial. Yes, I would love for you to invest in me, which is Mental Equation. My new writings, you can obtain them on Amazon.com, or you can inbox me and you can cash out me, and then I'll mail you a copy, however you choose to be it. And there's a blessing. There's prosperity in these writings as you get a revelation as to what God has given me a revelation on. Remember, we're light bodies and we have a light language. And so as you begin to study the writings that I've written, the light will come on for a manifestation of something great within you. So invest, as you sow, you shall reap. Good ground. Invest in good ground. If this Innovolution meditation has been a blessing to you, the greatest thing you can do is share it with someone else. So share it with someone else, share it on your page, call somebody up, tell them to send me a friend request so they can not miss any of this. Thanks, Haps TV, for allowing me to have this platform. Please go and download the app. It's a free app. You can support this ministry and a whole lot of other ministries that are going on. See, ministry is not always in church, because if you're going to follow the light, which is Jesus, he basically ministered to the people that did not come to church. And so this is an opportune way for that to happen. Yes, I am licensed and ordained minister, but I'm also a meditator. I'm also a spiritual evolutionist. I'm also walking in spiritualism. That's my quote unquote religion. Spiritualism, walking in the spirit. We're following Jesus, but Jesus is the light, which is the spirit. So we're not duplicating his work. We're connecting, because it says greater things you do, because there'll be multiple people that are doing the same thing. When we connect, that's how we do greater things. And so we're not duplicating, we're creating from the model that Jesus set as being the light on our dark places. Oh, that was a lot. So when we come to that knowledge, we won't feel bad about the things we're not doing, but we'll get enlightened about the things we are doing, right? Yeah. Well, this is Michelle, and I'm your motivator and your spiritual evolutionist, taking you on a journey that is going to ignite your life into the greatest version, the greatest frequency of life is love. And as you begin to love yourself, you begin to love others. Yes, a lot of you don't love people because you don't love yourself. And a lot of you are looking for love, but you're not sending out any. So you teach people how to love you. If you're not loving yourself, you're going to teach other people not to love yourself. Yes. Well, you've been created by the Creator to be creative, so start creating your creations. Stop all that duplicating now. Somebody already did that. Do something new. If I would do a new thing, will you not know it? Yes. May the love, joy, peace, power, and sound mindedness be your soul food for today. Join me tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to talk about breath works. You don't want to miss that tomorrow around 1 o'clock. You don't want to miss that breath works, because this is the energy that causes everything to happen inside of you. Yes. Please download Apps TV. Please invest in me, Mental Equations, on Amazon.com. Please join me tomorrow as we begin to move forward. Well, tomorrow's not here yet. Just in case it does get here, and you're here, and I'm here, let's join together and become one. Be blessed.